Phillies lose the opener in San Francisco 3-1. Welcome into Postgame Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Ashlyn Sullivan, Ricky Bo back here with you up late in Philadelphia. And the Phillies, as we mentioned, losing this game. And there are a lot of things that we're going to get into with the eighth inning, especially is a story in itself. But Ricky, when you look at this game, what's the biggest issue you saw here in this loss?
I think the Phillies not being able to hit with runners in scoring position. I always say that that's going to haunt them at some point. And when you look at what they have as a starting rotation, I mean, the starting rotation has carried this team. Enough is enough. I mean, you have the likes of Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, Turner. These guys should be good enough to score a lot more runs. And what we're seeing is leaving a lot of guys on base. When you leave a lot of ducks out on the pond, you know what? It's going to make it tougher and tougher on your pitching staff as days go by. You saw what happened to Orion Kerkering tonight. Wasn't necessarily all his fault. Wasn't like he was getting crushed around the ballpark, but he was wild a little bit. And then he wasn't getting calls from home plate umpire Phil Cuzzi. I think this was just one of those games where it kind of flashes back to, if you're not hitting with runners in score position, you're not going to win a lot of games. On an off-speed pitch, that is impressive.
It really is another great performance from Cristopher Sánchez. 16 straight games where he's allowed 3 runs or fewer. So that's impressive in itself. But the Phillies do lose this opener against San Francisco. Now let's go back to San Francisco and hear from Rob Thomson in the Phillies clubhouse.
Do you think Berkman got squeezed there in the 8th, and do you think that affected the inning?
Well, I heard that. I haven't seen the pitches yet. I haven't looked at the tape, but he was having trouble gripping the ball for whatever reason. The balls were a little bit slick, so he couldn't. It's more on his slider than his fastball. But, yeah.
Is that something you had somebody get up in the middle of the inning there? Obviously, Lazard came in early. Immediately, though, could you tell he wasn't gripping the ball well?
There was something going on, and then we made the trip, and Caleb came back, and once they take the lead, I still want him for tomorrow. So I don't want to put 30 or 35 pitches on him. That's why Lazard came in.
Snchez didn't seem to have, I guess, his best stuff tonight, but God, he just got you 7 innings and I don't want to say struggled through it, but what'd you see, and is that what you expect of him?
Yeah, in the second inning, where they loaded the bases, and you did a great job getting out of that with just 1 run. Just getting behind guys early, and that was about the only time that he got behind in the count. I thought he was really good, and he battled through a couple of rough jams, and I didn't really think there were that many balls hit hard off him. He got a lot of swings and misses. He got a lot of soft contact, ground balls. So I thought he did a great job getting through 7.
Turner just rushed that and then potential double play ball there.
Well, if he fields it clean, because who was it, Matos?
Yeah.
Or Ramos? Matos. Kind of a jailbreak out of the box. I don't think they turn it.
What happened with the pop-up to right and the ground rule double? Did they just losing those balls in the air?
The wind.
Okay.
Yeah. The wind was playing. You never see Stoddy get turned around like that. He's so good on pop-ups, and it's just the wind's taking it. And on the ball that was hit to Marsh, I think it was probably a knuckleball that was hit out there, because he broke the right way, and all of a sudden he said he looked back and the ball was now over his other shoulder, and he couldn't adjust.
You guys are 0 for your last 23 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
I know you won the last 2 games before today, but has anything stuck out about some of these at-bats that you're taking?
Well, other than the strikeouts the other night, that's something you got to be able to put the ball in play. But I've said all along that runners in scoring position is going to come and go. And we'll get it back, but it's all about approach. It's all about getting pitches to hit and using the entire field and putting the ball in play.
Tough to gauge Bryce today when some of these calls seemed not to be going his way.
Yeah, but I think he got a couple of swings off that I really liked. It looked normal. He was balanced and a lot of bat speed. So it was nice to see him get a base hit in the first at bat and walk. So hopefully we're making strides here.
Do you think there's any element in Sanchez who almost wants to prove that, hey, he's got a 2.599. He's I am an all-star. I don't know if you think there's anything in that in him?
I think he knows he's an all-star. I don't necessarily know if he's trying to prove anything. I think his confidence level is so high right now that he knows he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
He had 60 pitches through 3, somewhere right around there. Were you thinking about tomorrow at all, going forward with him? See how it played out?
Sure, always. it almost flipped on the two teams. Sanchez got a lot of pitches early. Their guy was pretty efficient early, and then we put some good at-bats on him and started seeing some pitches. So, but we should have a full bullpen tomorrow.
14 pitch at bat and ends up breaking his bat, and then everything goes south after that. It's just nothing going well for the Phillies offensively.
No, especially in tonight's game, but we were hoping in pregame, we talked about it, Bryce Harper trying to get back to his old self. A couple of good at-bats here. Let's now go back to the Phillies clubhouse and hear from Bryce Harper.
Go back and see any of those calls, or do you need to even watch them?
No, I mean, I feel like anytime I complain or anything, it's pretty obvious, right? So he knows he missed him.
I guess what do you make, like, you guys I think are 0 for your last 23 with runners in scoring position, even though you won the last few games? Like, what are you kind of seeing right now from the lineup as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that can't happen. We got a lot of guys that, should come through in those situations, and like you said, we haven't, so just got to do a better job.
Rob said he thought you liked a couple of your swings that you got off. Did you like them? Did you feel like you're getting closer?
No, I mean, I felt confident today. Felt really good where I was, and thought I was going to be in some good counts, and thought I was going to be in some good situations. But sometimes that happens, and umpire took over the game.
When you've come back from injuries in the past, it's taken you sometimes a week, 10 days to really feel it. Or are you feeling something? Does it feel similar to previous times when you've come back from injuries mid-season?
I just got to be confident in my ability, and it's been 6 games or something like that. So obviously I want it to happen now, but I felt really good tonight.
I mean, like, you stepped out. Like, what did you say to him? Because he was like,
I didn't say anything.
Okay, he was like,
I just said time, and he was just listening to the dugout. He said the second one he had at my belt line, which I knew it wasn't. So I couldn't say much more. I didn't want to. I didn't really say anything to him when I walked off the first time on the strike 3 that was up. I just told him he missed it. So I respect Phil. I like Phil a lot. But obviously that doesn't help us in those situations, and he's got to be better.
And like Sanchez, the way he's pitched, and Wheeler and Suarez, you guys have won some of these games, but not, I guess maybe not as many as you should have, the way they're pitching. Do you feel like you've wasted some of these starting pitching performances? Or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our starting pitching has been lights out. We could have 3 or 4 all-stars from our starting staff, so we should be winning more of their games. I mean, Wills is shut out or gave up 1 run in a lot of his starts. Sanchez, Ranger, same thing. So we just got to be better as a lineup and score the runs we need to, and win the games when our guys are going out there and pounding the zone.
Well, Bryce Harper talked about his at-bats there at the top of the 8th inning, a good opportunity to get this game back in the Phillies' direction, and we can talk about the umpiring all we want, but it was good to see at least Bryce Harper kind of get back to his normal self at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you could say back to your normal self.
We are back with Next Level, presented by Ocean Casino Resort, taking a look here at the Phillies' Big 3 starting pitchers since June 1st. Incredibly impressive numbers here. And while these numbers are impressive, Ricky, what's frustrating is when you see numbers like this and you can't capitalize on wins when you get numbers like this.
I mean, think about this. There's 20 starts right there between those 3 guys, and probably their ERA is probably around a 1.4 altogether. Maybe not even. Might be even less than that. And there are, 9 wins out of 20 starts. And you are basically giving up 1+ run a game. You have to be able to come up on top. Look at all these wasted. I mean, these are all wasted wins. You want to know. This is a perfect example of why the Phillies are not great but only good right now. Because when you look at the wasted opportunities, there's 15, there's 16 possible wins sitting out there, and you come up empty on those wins.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You have to win at least some of these games. I'm not saying every one of them, but I mean, your bats don't have to go cold every time your starting pitcher shuts down another team. You could step up and maybe score some runs for these guys and maybe make them happy on the way back to the hotel.
Yeah, now that's a great concept.
That would be nice.
That is for sure. Let's go back to San Francisco and hear from starting pitcher Cristopher Sánchez in the Phillies clubhouse.
You pitched from the stretch a lot tonight. runners on base. What did you like about getting out of those situations? How were you able to get out of those situations?
Yo con mucho de lado y con mucho corredor en base. ¿Cómo tú piensas que lograste salir de esas situaciones donde estaba logrando salir de ellas?
Creo que bien. Estaba ejecutando el plan, tratando de atacar lo más que pueda y ejecutando los picheos con JT en conjunto.
I think it went well. I mean, I was executing the plan that we had, trying to attack hitters early on and just executing the pitches. It was teamwork with JT tonight too.
Both Trey and Rob both said they were really surprised you weren't named an All-Star. Were you surprised based on the numbers that you put up so far this year?
El manager y shortstop que estaban sorprendidos que tú no fuiste seleccionado por estrella. Si eso se sorprendió o si pensaste cualquier cosa del tema de no haber sido seleccionado.
Sí, me sorprendió. No le voy a hablar mentira, me sorprendió, pero esas son cosas que pasan y seguimos. Todavía creo que hay chance.
I won't lie, it got me by surprise, right? But you know, those are things that happen. We just gotta. There's still a small chance it might happen, but we just gotta keep focused on getting work.
Do you use it as motivation or fuel in the way you tried to pitch tonight and how you might try to pitch the rest of the season?
Tú lo usas como motivación, como un poquito de gasolina en la forma que tú estás pichando días como hoy, como para motivación más para adelante.
Sí, claro. Eso me motiva muchísimo y más que, sabes, que el bateador está en su mejor momento, trato de poner lo más cero que puede en la pizarra también. Eso me motiva también.
Yeah, of course, that motivates me a lot. And one of the other things is like we might not be going through our best stretch hitting right now, so that motivates me a lot too to have my team's back and just hold on and as many innings as I can and throw as many scoreless innings as I can to get the games close and give our team a chance to win.
Threw a lot of pitches through 3 innings. Tomorrow with Taiwan being on the mound for limited duty, was it in your mind that you had to stay in the game long and might have to throw a lot of pitches?
Mucho picheo entre los 3 primeros innings. Mañana tenemos a Taiwan abriendo y tal vez va a tener un poquito de límite ahí. Algo que tú tenías en la mente era cuidar al bullpen también en el día de hoy.
Sí, siempre que salgo a pichar trato de ir lo más largo que pueda para que el bullpen no se afecte tanto para el día siguiente.
Every time I'm in the mound, I'm just thinking about going as late as I can in the game, so we don't touch our bullpen as often. So that's one of the things I have in mind.
Looking at Kyle Schwarber here, the newly All-Star, 1 for 4 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. But you're looking at this Phillies team to bounce back tonight at 9:45 and 9 o'clock pregame here. Taiwan Walker back for the Phillies. Ricky, what's the expectation?
How about a couple innings?
That'd be nice.
He does have 2 scoreless appearances in a row, but those, you know what, those are out of the bullpen. You got to look for this guy to go 3 or 4 innings. I don't know if he's got that many pitches in him. I think you're probably going to see anywhere from 50 to maybe 70 pitches out of Taiwan Walker, and then it's to the old drawing board after that.
Yeah, you're certainly going to need the bullpen, but nice to get him back as another option at this point.
It would be.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
We will see how it goes.
Got to tie one on.
Yeah, yes, you do. But looking at this Phillies game now tonight at 9:45, how do they bounce back?
I think it's going to have to be offensively. I mean, maybe there is a bit of a wake-up call knowing that Taiwan Walker's on the mound and maybe thinking, all right, well, maybe we have to score some runs tonight. Maybe a little bit of a sense of urgency. I think that would be important. I think that would be good. But, I mean, the hitting with runners in scoring position, what is it, 23-24 straight? 0 for 23 or 0 for 24. I'm not really sure exactly what it is right now.
24.
But it's 0 for 24. That is awful. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a long time period of not hitting the baseball. But you also have to look on the other side. I mean, the Giants were 0 for 9 tonight.
Yeah.
Both teams were 0 for 15 in this game.
Not pretty baseball, that's for
offense.
sure. As the Phillies do lose this opener in San Francisco, like we mentioned, at 9:45. First pitch means a 9 o'clock pregame tonight. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.